in the picture. There we go.
You're live.
Are we live?
We're live on YouTube. And we're going to go live on Facebook.
I should look at myself here and we look up here.
You got to look at both. Every week we go over this. Both
well,
cameras.
I know. It's new to me. It's only been 8 times.
Girlfriend. Hi, Rosemary.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
We're still here. We don't have the virus yet. Do you have it? You don't have a mask on?
No, I don't.
Somebody asked me why we don't have masks on.
Oh, when we do this?
Mm-hmm. I did get asked that question.
And what did you tell them?
I really didn't know. I'm so careful. I'm sitting here next to her like she has kids at home. But she's pretty good with staying self-contained.
Yeah, those kids aren't going anywhere.
Yeah, I know she won't let her kids run around. So I think I feel safe. So anyway, ask me what I did this week.
Rosemary, what have you been up to this week?
You'll never guess. Oh, I touched your body. You shouldn't touch your body. Okay. I figured. Have you ever seen the movie King Kong?
No.
I had never seen the movie King Kong. I've seen the end of it when that big ape or gorilla or whatever it is on top of the building holding that woman.
The iconic image.
That's the only thing I've ever seen because I've missed the first. Well, I decide before I go into the other world or I just stay in the ground, what's going to happen to me. I didn't want to leave without seeing King Kong. So it came on and I sat there and watched the whole entire movie from the beginning to the end. Are you proud of me?
Of all the movies you could pick.
Of all the movies. Well, you know, I've heard people talk about King Kong and I have never watched it. So I decided, Rosemary, you're going to watch it.
Did it live up to all your expectations?
I thought it was pretty good.
Did you?
It's an old movie and I kind of like the older movies. It's obviously, well, that was pretty good though. It's obvious they could have done it, but we didn't know back then. So they've learned a lot since then. But I thought it was a really good movie.
That's great. So, I haven't seen it. You know what else I haven't seen? I have never seen one episode of Star Wars.
I haven't either.
Maybe that's why we get along so well.
I don't care for science fiction too much. But I'll take time to tell you this little story because the lady who I'm talking about is probably watching today. When the first Star Wars came on, eons ago, my friend from Snowflake came down and I had 3 kids and she had, if you'll believe it, 7. So we took all of us to the movie. And if you live in Phoenix, it was the old Sin Capri that they've taken down. We saw Star Wars. Or let's say our husbands saw Star Wars. That many years ago, when the kids went to the bathroom, you went with them. You just didn't let them run to the bathroom. Well, I was standing there holding the aisle and Sandy was taking kids to the bathroom and she would come back. We'd send another one to the bathroom and I would take some to the whole entire movie. All I can remember about Star Wars is standing on the end of the aisle taking kids to the bathroom.
I mean, it's an important job.
It's an important job.
Somebody's got to do it. It better be you.
But I think Floyd and Stanley really enjoyed the movie. But so I've never since have I looked at not one Star Wars. I'm not a science fiction person.
Yeah, me either.
If I go to the movies, I want to be entertained. I want a shootout or a car race or a detective. I don't want to cry. I don't want to learn a lesson. I just want to be entertained. There.
I like a good chick flick.
You like a chick flick? No, I don't care for chick flicks. Yeah. Oh, I mean, I watch them, but I just like to shoot them up, sir. Intense and those type things. Mickey Spillane, those kind of stuff. That's my thing. So that's what I did.
We need questions. We want to know what you want to know about. Write us a message and we will, Rosemary will solve all your problems. That's what we pay her the big bucks to do.
She pays me, so yeah, I'll answer all your questions.
Mm-hmm. So what do you want to talk about today?
Well, I want to pull up some things from the past and go over them a little bit more. Number one, if you need to know about ventilators, put a question on there if you didn't get it the last time. If your loved one has a severe case of a cognitive dysfunction or high blood pressure, stroke, any of those things, you probably have a DNR. So to be aware that that would be something that you would not want on it, that you would not want done to them if you have a DNR. Most people do not come off the ventilator.
Right.
You're up to like 80%. And if you know what delirium is, it was a very good article talking about delirium. It's very, very high in the ICU normally, but it's very high now with these people who are staying in the ICU that do have this coronavirus. And a lot of them are having PTSD when they get home. It's just, I had delirium one time, and it really scares me when I had it. And I can't imagine people in suits and hats and gloves come in to take care of me. One lady, they said, thought she was being raped. They had put a catheter in. But she was having delirium. So, that's people, this is bad stuff. You just don't, it's not over with. New York is doing good, but it is not over with. So you must watch your loved ones and watch what you're doing. You have to be a science buff right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So much out there.
Yeah. And we're just because we don't see New York on the TV every morning doesn't mean it's over with. We're baby steps. Baby steps. If you really want to read something you'll understand, read The Spanish Flu 1918 by John Barry.
You're still talking about this book. Made a big impression on you.
Yes, it was written way before this virus, and it sounds exactly like us. Okay. Last week, I talked a little bit about the 4 steps or rituals to being happy. So we started a class in between this class. Every other Thursday, I do one on, it's a Zoom class. Really good, because I can see you, you can see me. That might be scary, but we can interact. So last Thursday, we did the first step, which was gratitude. I was going to go into it just a little bit, so maybe people who haven't seen it might, and remember to tell them how to get on Zoom.
Okay. You can sign up for the happiness class at www.oakwoodcreativecare.org and go into the online classes and sign up for it. And it's free.
And then she sends you a...
Yes, then you get a link, and all you have to do is click on the link, and then you get to hang out with Rosemary.
You join the group. Mm-hmm. And it'll be fun. Simple. Because we can ask questions in, and we'll be talking a specific subject, and I think that would be probably easier for you.
So we'll post that later today for next week's class. Okay,
but I think it's worth going on. We don't know as much about the brain as we do now. The last 15 years, 10 to 15 years, we've really gone a long way because as people have been digging in there and learning new things for a long time, and now it's getting passed down to us. So these 4 rituals is what I have found that is neuroscience based, and I really like the way they presented it, and I thought it was a lot easier to follow. There's 4 steps. The first step that we are started on is called gratitude. The brain is stimulated, and it's stimulated by words sometimes. So if you get, let's say you get angry, let's say you're sad, the brain hears all that, and that's the way the brain's going to react. Sad, unhappy, anxiety, those things. So we want to take that out of our mind and put it in with something else. The greatest thing to replace those is called gratitude. Being grateful for something, it produces serotonin and it produces dopamine. And that is the feel-good chemicals in your brain that you get when you're on an antidepressant or the old-fashioned one, Wellbutrin. And it does the same thing, not maybe as dramatically. If you're truly depressed and you need a chemical, a medication, this wouldn't do a whole lot for you, but it would be like going to counseling. But usually if you're depressed, you need to go to counseling in addition to your medicine. So anyway, just sitting down and thinking what you're grateful for and put that in there instead of being guilty about something. Put gratitude in your brain. Gratitude for something is the best you can do. So what the people in the last class are doing at night before you go to bed, you are to write down 3 things that you've been grateful for that day. Only 3 things that you're grateful for that day. We're starting to plant that in our brain And we're going to do it every night. And if you keep it up for 6 months, you're going to see a change. But you got to do it every night. 3 things. I will say I've had a little bit problem with it since I'm home all the time.
Well,
I can't say I'm thankful for being home.
I mean, you could be.
But it's 3 things and I think, I think I can do that better than if I was working. Then I thought, maybe, Rosemary, you don't understand gratitude. So I had to talk with myself. Well, the lady in the mirror, she looks pretty sad most of the time. So I want you at night before you go to bed, write down those 3 things and join us next week on a Zoom and happiness, and we will discuss that.
Sounds good.
So, and also, my people last week were to write a thank you note or an email
or a phone
call to somebody that's done something for them or has just made a difference in their life. I've made their life a little easier, or you know who those people are. Anyway, get off the pot, give them a call, write them an email, write them a pretty thank you note.
Yeah.
And you will get a lot more gratitude out of it than the other person will. It just works that way. That's the same people who do these deeds and they don't tell anybody else about them.
Yes.
That's my most favorite thing, is you do a deed and you don't tell anybody else about it. And it just builds in your brain because it's just between you and that other person.
Yeah. It's awesome.
So, yes, it's awesome. If you've never done that, you'll do that this week one time. It makes a huge feeling. It lasts most all evening. You'll think about it. So that's what you're supposed to do. And then you come on next week. And next week, we're going to talk a little bit about that, but we're going to talk about labeling our emotions. You just can't, the brain, you have to tell the brain what's going on. Why do I feel this way? You just say, I'm sad. Why are you sad? You got to label your emotions. And then once you do that, the brain's able to take care of it. The brain puts out, unfortunately, they'll put out dopamine and they'll put out serotonin if you're guilty. If you feel guilty, that hits the reward center, just like gratitude. So you got to take that out of your brain and put something else in it. So are you going to go around all your life being guilty and worrying? So that's what the premises of it is.
I like it.
Okay, I like it too. It's simple, and I think it's something that we can all do. So,
what else?
Any questions?
No
questions. Is anybody out there?
Yeah, some people are out here.
Oh, good.
My mom is watching.
Oh, hello, mother.
Hi, Mom. But nobody has asked us any questions yet.
Okay.
So what else have you got?
I have a new, no, it's not a new book for me. I've been reading, I read a book a long time ago, maybe a couple years ago, and it's called The Spectrum of Hope. Have you read that?
I have not, but I did order it.
Oh, did I tell you about it?
Yeah.
It's called The Spectrum of Hope. It's a new way to think of Alzheimer's disease, or not just Alzheimer's, cognitive disabilities. It's a radical change. It's a new way for them to live. It's a new way to think about it. And I found it, I think I have thought this way, but sometimes I think things and I don't say them because I think, I'm sure somebody else has said that, Rosemary. But I don't hear this being said, and I think that's why it's interesting to me. Giving hope, usually now what I hear when I have people come in that want to join our club, they come in, a lot of them are very depressed. They're all on the last leg of hope, if they even have any hope. But they go to the doctor and he'll say something like, yeah, they do have a cognitive problem. It's probably Alzheimer's disease. That's all they do.
Yep.
They send them home.
Diagnose and adios.
Yeah. They tell you what it is, send you home. Well, some people will go ahead, and I usually send them to a neurologist to check it out to be sure, because, there's lots of things it could be. Your thyroid might not be functioning correctly, and it'll do that to you. You could be overdosed on vitamins, and it'll do it to you. There's many, many things. You could be at a undiagnosed diabetic. That will do it to you. There's many, many things it could be besides one of the dementias, and there's 100 of those, so it's a lot. So the diagnosing part is really important. Well, this doctor, she's a lady. She gives them hope because, and I've thought about this. I thought about this with my brother-in-law. She scales them like you would do a child that has autism. They're on a spectrum.
Okay.
There's autism here, and there's autism here that never talk. There's autism here that can still function in life. There's autism here. It's very hard for them to function in life. But they shouldn't be in here. They should be, it doesn't mean Wednesday the doctor told me I had Alzheimer's. This is the end over here. So I just gave up and went here. And when that happens, people see you differently, unfortunately. Mm-hmm. They want to treat you differently. And I really didn't know how prevalent this was in the United States. Once you get the diagnosis and everybody knows about it, they start treating you differently. She's talking about a lady that had memory impairment. She forgot really bad, but all of her ADL functionings, like going to the bathroom, getting dressed, putting makeup on, knowing to comb her hair, all those things were intact. She could still have a conversation. Very seldomly would she pick a poor word, but she might go back and do the same thing 4 times and not being able to remember. But you have a big brain, and that's only one little section. Mm-hmm. So when a doctor does the MRI, a lot of people just go to a GP, and they might do an MRI, and they'll say, "Oh yeah, it shows all this stuff." And well, really, what did it show? What section of the brain is having a problem? It's not the whole brain, or he wouldn't be able to dress himself, or he wouldn't be able to drive. He wouldn't be able to watch a TV and show and get it. He just keeps forgetting things. He will tell you something 4 or 5 times, but that doesn't mean his whole life has to stop because he's just telling you that you need to turn the light off 4 or 5 times. He still has a lot of cognitive skills, and people who are educated, that have gone to college, that have enriched their life, they have what's called extra cognitive abilities stored in their brain. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but they have like billions of little cells going in there because they've kept their brain active. So they have extra to lose. So that's why they say, go to school, take a class in a foreign language, or take a class in something that you don't really know a lot that you have to think about. That's building cognitive awareness in your brain. It's something you can rely upon. So when people have done this all their life, it seems to help them. They have a reserve to pull on. Well, some of these people, and she has treatment right away. She believes on magnetic resonating treatments, and I don't really know a lot about that.
I don't know.
I'm going to have to go read a little bit more on that. I'm a little aware of it. But she's very reasonable, and it's fascinating. So if your husband or your wife or your grandma gets diagnosed, don't just sit her in the corner. You need to be using those good things that she has left. And most of these people, the ones that we get, are people who have had it for a while. They're most of them are very, very advanced. But we have some that are on this side of on the spectrum. So we have to give them things that is more appropriate to where they are in their dementia. So people who are just starting are on this end of the spectrum. They may never get on this end before. Can you see me? They may never get here before they die of natural causes. Right? So if we can think about Alzheimer's instead of thinking of it as this horrible thing, it is horrible. But what is it? ALS? ALS is horrible. Having a child age 7 with a brain tumor is horrible. Having a lot of diseases are horrible. So you need to think about that. It's not the most horrible thing in the world. I think anything that you deal with that is like this, like these other diseases, like the cancer, like multiple sclerosis, none of us want to be in that one. But it doesn't mean your life has to completely change and they have to put you in the corner until death comes.
Right.
Because this person may make it for a long, long time. They may start having, if they're having memory problems, they may start having a few verbal problems. But if you can work around those, you can keep them in the home. They can be productive. They can work in the yard. They can do lots of things. But it's a moment that you give up and start treating them like a person who has Alzheimer's disease. That's probably what you're going to get. Because it diminishes them as a person.
I think that's the magic of Oakwood, right? Is that our whole philosophy is to see beyond the disease, to see the person, and to bring out the skills and talents and joy that remains. And sadly, that's what's missing in the treatment of this disease.
Mm-hmm.
It's simple. It's super simple.
Yeah, we don't educate. I've had so many people come to me, and it's, and it's just like I see him. I think, well, he's got a long time to go. He has a long time to go yet.
Yeah.
And you're going to have to watch your doctors. It's okay to get a different doctor. Your geriatric clinicians are probably better. No, not probably. They are better for you because they know what you should be having as we get older, because we don't take the same kind of medications. And so if you have a doctor that's not listening to you, not helping you get through this, you need to change and find somebody that does. She's a really remarkable woman. It's a very good read, very good book. So
we have a question. Chris is asking, how do you redirect them when they get fixated on something and talk it to death?
I guess she means the same question over and over again. Well, to be real truthful with you, not very much at all. They keep asking you the question because that part of the brain doesn't remind them that they've asked you that question. So you're going to have to take a deep breath, either try to navigate them to something else, change the situation, offer them a cookie, do something. What we did with my mother, when we got in the car to go to the doctor, she would ask my sister a zillion times, where are we going? Where are we going? So had Judy get a little card, a little 4x4 card, and put, we're going to the doctors. You give her one chance and you say, we're going to the doctors. The next time you say, and she reads it off the paper, oh, because they've truly forgotten. They're really not doing this to drive you crazy, although it does seem like that's their goal in life, to drive you crazy. But that's how you do it. You'd have to distract them. And if you can't distract them, you're just going to have to take a deep breath, maybe put some earplugs in and just smile.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science, people.
Well, I think hers is more if you get fixated on a topic.
Okay. You can do the same thing. You're going to have to get her out of the house. You're going to have to go for a walk. You're going to have to do something else that she really likes to do. And I don't know what that would be for her loved one, but what do they really like to do to get them off the topic?
Yeah, or call. I mean, right now it's really hard because there's nothing to do, right?
Right now, but if you're in Arizona, you really can't take them outside in 105.
Call a family member and have them FaceTime and get distracted on a phone call.
Or go have someone call them and talk to them.
Or put on some music.
I've gone over this problem with certain topics they talk about, and there's no magic cure for that one. It's just
patience.
That's what we don't have. Patience.
It's hard. So it's really hard.
You got to change that mind to something else. You got to show it something different. So, anything else?
No.
Okay.
You got anything else for us?
No more questions. I'm really wanting some questions today.
Oh, you are?
Yes, I am. There is one thing besides, but this is a good thing. You should keep that. It's called, we're putting Alzheimer's on the spectrum, and they've never done that. And what this lady does, I really like, she doesn't put it in what stage they're in.
I hate the stage.
Everybody asks me, not almost everybody asks me, what stage do you think it's in? I have to say, I can't tell you that because I have never seen any Alzheimer's that's exactly alike. And I can't tell you what stage they're in. But obviously, if they're staying in bed all the time, they're not going to eat, and they look bad. They're probably fixing to get ready to die. But in the beginning, that's not easy to do. And she doesn't worry about that. She says, don't make your mind up worrying about something, because she might be far a deficit in one area, but she may be so good in everything else. So don't try to put her in that box. Let it be on the scale. If they would talk about the scale of autism and put Alzheimer's on that scale, I think that would be a little more appreciative of how we're supposed to act, because they are people, you know.
They are.
They are people. And this is what we do here. I don't, when I go back into the program, I don't treat them like people like they don't know anything. Usually people will talk with you, and most of them tell me interesting things. They may get some words wrong, but I'm able to make it through it, and I have an enjoyable time. Just expect the best, and that's what you're going to get. Same thing with kids. If you expect the worst, that's probably what you're going to get. So, anything?
No, I mean, we should probably give a quick update on Oakwood and what's going on here. We're getting a lot of families calling and asking when we're going to open, if we're going to open.
Every day.
We're not opening anytime soon. We don't have a specific date in mind. So we don't know.
You know, but some places are just starting to open. I'm not very happy with it. That's my own personal. Unless you've had 14 days of low death rates and incidences of the coronavirus, that's not really good. When you get there and you have 4 days, you do it for 14 days. And if you hit 4 days, you're just going down and down. That's a good way to start opening. But we're dealing with a population that's very fragile. So I don't think we'll be one of the first ones that open. And I wouldn't think that you would want us to open if we didn't think that we could be fairly safe for you. And this is a bad bug. If we're older, we just might as well plan on not making it. So
the answer is not yet.
So not yet.
We will keep you posted if that changes, if and when. We are putting together strategies of how we can safely reopen when the time is right, ordering supplies and getting ourselves prepared for that. But we would recommend getting in touch with our club directors and joining our Zoom classes as much as possible.
Zoom classes are good. If you haven't, if you don't know how to do them, call one of the clubs, and either Annie or Jessica can tell you how to get on. They have exercising, they have some music, they have intellectual studies, and they have a lot of art. And you ought to at least give it a try. It's not expensive. At least give it a try, and maybe that might help you a little bit. So,
we are going to be changing up how we're doing things on Facebook in the next week or so. We're going to transition a little bit off of Facebook Live and put those things onto Zoom. Some sessions will be free and some will have a fee to them. So definitely check out the awesome list of classes online. And then I want to do a shout out to our amazing nurses. It's National Nurses Week. Day. And we have some incredible nurses on our staff team who we love and adore. Annie, Rosemary, and Jonna, who keep us all safe and healthy. And I'm really thankful for you guys. So
I'm doing what I love to do. I'm thankful.
Yeah, I can see that in each of you, that you're here because you love what you do. And I think that's what.
Oh, I do have one more thing.
No.
Yes, I do. Do I have time? Okay. There's one more thing that will help you out, and I don't think I've told you. If I had, I'm going to tell you again. If you've been on a cruise, you know they give you this long thing that you can put around your neck. It has all the information, has your ticket in it. It's a long plastic sleeve like this. What do you call it? And you can put paper in it. Jonna, one of our other nurses, is the one that said she had read this somewhere and it was a good idea, particularly if you have people, even for me, I will do it. Or a person has severe dementia. You put in there his name, what he likes to be called, your name, wife, and your phone number. Then you put his history, short history, dementia, the type, any other major health problems. You put down current drugs he's on. You put down allergies, and you put them in red pen, allergies that he has. And any pertinent information that you think that they might need. And you put that on him, and you put a little clip on it. So if you're going to the hospital, you just clip that to his clothes. And then when they take his clothes off and put a gown, they can clip it on his gown. So whoever comes in will know what he likes to be called, some information about him.
I think we have a link about that.
Do we?
I think so. I'll add it to the notes.
But I thought that was real, because in New York, the hospitals are so full. I don't even know how they remembered whose name was who
right
in there. But I thought that was really, really good, a good step that you could use. And you can buy those little plastic things off of Amazon.
Awesome. The other thing is we've been talking a lot about our online store. And so I've been working hard on that, and that will be going live by Friday. So check out our online store this week. You too can have some Oakwood swag.
And you can buy cups.
And you can buy your cups there too.
You can buy art.
Yeah, some art is on there now, but we will be adding more. So
shirts, all kinds of shirts.
All kinds of shirts. Yep.
So I'm anxious to see what that's going to look like.
It's cool.
Is it cool?
It is cool. I mean, I'm expanding my horizons and learning the world of e-commerce. It's no joke, man.
But that's a hard one.
Yeah. We have a good.
She's a smart lady. She has lots of hats that she puts on, and we're still working because of her. So we're one of the ones that have got the what was it called? We got a PP. What's it called?
A PP. We got the paycheck protection.
Paycheck protection. I called it another one. But anyway, just because of that, her taking care of that, our board was extremely good to us, working, and Jan working with her to get this through. She was able to get one of the first ones, I guess, in Arizona that got it. I hadn't heard anybody as quick as you were, lady. So we're still working, thanks to what she has done. And the staff's working on these classes. You don't know how much work it takes them to put a Zoom class on, particularly if you're doing a painting session. And we have Adam is at the town center one. His name is Adam. He's very funny, does gorgeous paintings. He's loud and he carries on. And then the other site, we have a young man named Renee. Renee is a little bit. Ryan. No.
Ryan.
No, it's not Renee.
Ryan.
I'm sorry, Ryan. Anyway, I like him a lot. He's quieter. He does a lot of good pencil drawings. Quite talented, but their personalities are totally different.
They are.
But they're both excellent. And they're both, Ryan just finished a issue a year or two ago. So both of these kids know what they're doing. And we have another artist down here that's very talented. I don't know, even if you can't use Oakwood, you ought to just come in one day and go into the art room.
They're pretty incredible.
You would be amazed what's going on here. Amazed. I doubt that you find this anywhere. I'm very pleased with that. I couldn't do those stuff, and we've got people in there on the spectrum that are doing all kinds of things. So, in fact, you probably wouldn't believe it.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Right there, subscribe. Because that's where a lot of our content is going to go from now on, is going to be on YouTube. So make sure you stay up to date with what's going on. Just search for Oakwood Creative Care and subscribe to our channel. So stay tuned.
Oh, happy birthday, Sandy. She had a birthday next week. I told her she should stop having them.
Right?
Makes
we all
me
should.
older.
Okay, I'm going to turn off.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Did that go long enough? I didn't have a watch today.
Yeah, we went.